Hello, thanks for being here with us today. I'm here with Lightworkers 613. Welcome back, Flavia. Thank you again for doing this with me.
Thank you.
Let's do a quick sound check and chat.
Can you hear us?
Hello. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to share a story today that I wrote down in my journal, and I'm going to read it along with why it's important. I've been writing down these stories. Hopefully, maybe one day they'll end up in a book. So I'm going to share this story about a native called White Shield and his technology and why it's important. Then I'm going to share three, I think we call them katsinas, which are sacred songs to the Hopi. And we're going to share these katsina technologies and what they do and why they're important. I'm going to teach you how to say the main verses of the song, and then I'm going to sing it to you to demonstrate it, and then we're going to talk about a little bit about what each of the technologies mean. Don't worry if you can't sing. You know, Hopis were musicians. That's one of the things that I really value. I mean, every native is, but oh my gosh, their entire technology was about song or chant or speaking something. So if you don't sing, the only thing that you could do is, with a deep belief in your heart, connect to what the words feel like. So Hopi translation with words are, let's just say we do the best we can. English is just so different. So I'll do the best I can with that as well. All right. And explain that. So I'm going to read the story exactly as Siaka or Siakya shared with me. And he's talking about the sacred stones with a story by a native called White Shield, who is probably Sioux, but it's still important to Hopi because in Hopi, all natives are family. Okay, so he said, here is a remarkable demonstration of sacred stones by White Shield. It was related by myself, Siaka, and I have stated to you on one occasion about this, that he had lost 2 horses. And I have stated that I remember asking White Shield to locate his horses. Being bound with sinews, White Shield asked, what sign shall the stone bring to show whether your horses are by a creek or on the prairie? Siaka stated, if they are by a creek, let the stone bring a little turtle and a piece of shell. And if they are on the prairie, let the stone bring me a meadowlark. White Shield then sent the stone on its quest, simply by asking in his heart for these signs from the sacred stone. While the stone was absent, the people prepared a square of finely pulverized earth, as described. It was evening when the stone returned to us. The teepee was dark, as the fire had been smothered, but there was dry grass ready to put on it when White Shield ordered light. Notice they said ordered. Like the Hopi and the Sioux command light. They don't just say, oh, by the way, we're going to visualize light and hope that it shows up. They command it. Normally with their hands and with the kasinas, which are the ancient sacred songs. So teepee was dark, as the fire had been smothered, but there was dry grass ready to put on it when White Shield ordered light. At last, the stone appeared on the place prepared for it, on the earth, and beside it was a little turtle with a small piece of clamshell in one of its claws. Such events were not unusual in our olden days. Does this feat tell us anything about turtles, other than that they were summoned by the stone and made the appearance accordingly? Once Standing Bear remembered a strange characteristics of turtles as a spirit animal when he was recounting the Sioux knowledge of the natural world. He remarked that the people never saw turtles moving from one watering place to another. They just suddenly appeared in different places and seemed to have abandoned other locations. And surely there must have been at least once when someone saw turtles migrating from one pond or creek to another. On the other hand, the Plains Indians were constantly observing the behavior of birds and animals and keeping a sharp eye on the weather, so very little ever escaped their attention. After the appearance of the stone and verification of its powers, White Shield, without any apparent oral communication with the stone out loud, told Siaka, "Your horses are 15 miles west of the Porcupine Hills at a fork at the Porcupine Creek. If you do not want to go for them, there is a traveler coming that way who will get them and bring them in for you." This proved to be true. A neighbor of Siaka's had been out looking for wild fruits, and on his way home, he saw the horses at the fork of the Porcupine Creek. Recognizing them as Siaka's, he brought them back. White Shield in our stories can be known as very talented in locating lost objects because he knows the power of command. When he commands light, he commands memory from deep within his nature, even at his cells. Like the cellular nature, he knows. From all indications, he had such power that he need only fix his attention on a task, and he was guaranteed success because he believed it. There are many more explanations of his exploits with his sacred stone, which was never far from his side. The following account of a performance by White Shield differs from my preceding story in that it took place in a house and the stone was held in White Shield's hand instead of being laid upon the ground. This narrative will give to you by Bullhead, who witnessed this, and he said it occurred when the government first issued certain harness. And when the government first issued some of these situations when lost articles by the aid of sacred stones were found, and I think they mean the Indian government, he appealed so to him, asking him to find a missing part of his harness because the government had asked where did it land. And also he was missing a handsome tobacco bag and pipe. White Shield came and in giving the performance held the stone in the palm of his hand, saying, "This will disappear." Bullhead said that though he watched it very closely, it suddenly vanished from before his eyes. The length of time that a stone is absent depends upon the distance it must travel in finding a lost object. In this instance, the stone was gone a long time. At last, a rattle was heard at the door. White Shield stopped singing his kasina and said, "The stone has returned. Be ready to receive it." Then he opened the door and the stone was found on the doorstep. White Shield brought it in and heard the message. The stone said that the missing articles had been taken by a certain man who, for fear of detection, had thrown them into the river. The stone was said further to White Shield that the articles would be brought back that night and left where they had been sent. The next morning, all the missing articles were found in the place where they were last seen. Their appearance indicated that they had been under the water for several days. So the reason why I share that story and the technology of the sacred stone is that when you find, for many of you who love crystals, do you ever find that you just have one that just calls to you? I know light workers, you guys love crystals, and sometimes you'll just be somewhere and the certain crystal will just call to you. In that instance, in modern times, that's your sacred stone. You're living in Utah, we run across these kind of stones all the time, and some people in cities don't. So you don't have to go find one, but you'll always have one that's special to you. And you can practice by holding in your hand, commanding light, visualizing a white tunnel when you close your eyes that starts in your third eye and that protracts either in or out, following it. And then imagining and asking where it would be. So you command the power of light. You just don't say, "I command the stone to speak." You hold it in your hand, you grasp it, you pay attention to the light here, you follow it, and you command that light show you where something missing would be. So I accidentally practiced this just a few minutes before, and somebody remembered something that she had lost. It wasn't a thing though. But it works. And that was my first time actually practicing it. And I tried it with the stone in my hand. And I was kind of just practicing it. I didn't close my eyes. I wasn't even sure if it was going to work. So I put, the shaman stone in my hand, and I could feel it leaving, and there's no one there to witness it, but I couldn't feel the weight of the stone. So that happens naturally when you're in so much trance that you don't feel the weight of the stone. And if your belief is strong enough, people around you will witness that it is not there. Okay. So I brought something for you today. We're going to use it. 24 hours. I should have practiced it sooner on you. Sorry. Thank White Shield. So we're going to be talking about Hopi Technologies. I have written down 3 for you. So I'm going to describe what they are. Remember, you don't have to sing, even though I do. There will be plenty of people who don't and just want to say it. So the first technology is called the cleansing rains. This is a technology when you really need rain and when you really need kind of like a water purification or a water blessing that cleanses you. This is kind of like in yoga, we would call this a pratyahara technique. So this is going to cleanse certain emotions that you need cleansed, and it works really, really quickly. So I call it the cleansing rains, and it can also make for rain. I found it to be a gentle rain, not like a pouring rain, but a gentle rain will actually come from the sky when you do this technology as well. So the first chant is, you can say it or sing it, Pa'a motoroi ang huhanginani. Pa'a motoroi ang huhanginani. Would you like me to type it out?
Yes.
Okay.
This is just like learning source tones. So like, what?
I know when I give you guys source tones and you're like, what? I'm gonna type this out for you. Let me get my mouse going and put my keyboard out of the way. And remember, you don't have to sing. You can just say it. You can sing it monotone. And, it will induce a lot of emotions because Hopi are very emotional beings. Also, you'll notice something that I've been learning about them is that they don't sing with great grief. Their hearts aren't breaking when they sing, and they don't sing with great jubilation either. They're not like jumping around with joy. There's something in the middle. You won't see them grieving and heartbreaking when they're singing like a lot of other tribes, but you won't sing them like completely happy either.
That's interesting.
It's interesting to me. Okay. All right. Hopefully it will not autocorrect it. So again, Pa'a motoroi ang huhanginani. Okay. So the cleansing rains. Here's what it translates to for as best as they've described it to me in English. It translates to, the clouds' rain will be making their flashes to stand up, aka lightning, but light in general. So Hopi technologies and languages as a whole, all their katsinas are full of words that have strong metaphorical meaning. Like I can't just give you meaning and you'd be like, oh, so we're going to get rain with lightning. What is lightning? What is ether in your life? What does this represent for you? Like a true Hopi will tell you, a tribal Hopi will tell you there could be many meanings when you use these elemental technologies to work in your life. So here's how you do it. You're going to create a sand altar inside of a triangle. So this gets really fun. Bear with me a second. My kids put on my markers. See, I thought I was prepared. And my kids are like, nah, I like the markers. I think I'm going to take them. So give me a second. All right. So hopefully this marker will do because I don't have more. So sand altars, basically triangle here, your sand inside of it. Do you remember the technology that we used last time with quartz crystals pointing? You have your pointers in this direction. So you can have one big quartz that looks like this, or you can have 3 tiny quartzes here. You're making 3s, but you're pointing. If you have pointers, the points need to go upward towards this, okay? And then you can put copper, just put C for anything copper. I don't care what, but a lot of Native ancestors prefer like copper bowls, you know, and incense, you know, plates and things like that. If you have an incense holder that's copper, you know, like that, okay? And then you're going to put 2 or 1 long selenite here. So 2 quartz pointers pointing in this direction, okay, right there, or 1 long selenite. And then your sand is going to be here. Does everybody understand that? Right? So you're going to do that, and then you're going to visualize grandmother or grandfather. And you're going to visualize how she looks like to you. You're going to visualize that that altar is her dress. Okay? So I like grandmother for this, Mother Earth, but some people connect better to grandfather. Dresses too. What was that?
Okay. I just unmuted my mic.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
So basically, you're going to visualize grandmother. Her dress is the triangle. And at the bottom of her dress, I'll tell you what, you have everything, and then your kids or your cat steal it. My cat took my marker. These are not the right markers. So basically with this one, if her dress is a triangle, you're going to imagine that there's going to be hooked triangles at the bottom. So here's the altar, and basically the whole thing is the bottom of her dress. Okay, so here's the sand inside, going back to that. The bottom of her dress is going to have hooked triangles. So what that means is that each triangle will be within itself. It doesn't matter how many you have. And at the hooked portions, you're going to imagine like some extra lines right here. So every time a triangle hooks in, you're going to add an extra line. All right. So hooked triangles, that's what they look like. They hook into each other, and then there's an extra line either right to the right of where the hook actually is. And I'm going to tell you what those extra lines represent. And these are technologies that you just kind of get good at understanding what they are the more you practice working with technologies with triangles. So triangles represent water. Every Hopi knows that. But you get to decide what that water means to you. Is that an emotion that you need cleansing? Is it water on your property that you're doing some dowsing and you're trying to find out where a well might be? Hopis use these technologies for things like this. And then the hooks within that each have lines, and those lines represent the splashing of the hard rains. When you're feeling like in the Hopi lands, it would be the splashing of the hard rains during drought or in the summertime. So you know how when you haven't had rain in a long time and the rains come really hard and the droplets are like, if they hit you in the face, you almost like turn, like that kind of rain. All right. You're going to be visualizing that those lines represent those splashes. And you can even put the lines inside of the triangle, like on her dress, on Mother Earth's dress, in which case it would just look like that. Do you see what I'm saying? So hook triangles and hard splashes is the best way I can describe this technology. And you're going to sing that. I'm just going to sing it the way it's traditionally sung, but you can sing it how you want. visualize like a lot of people like clapping and being happy and yeah. So even though it is a cleansing song, you'll notice that again, Hopi don't sing like they're in a dirge. There's always a lot of energy, despite the fact that you're probably about to grieve something. Okay, so being that I've given you that technology to probably bring on emotion that you need to grieve or cleanse or heal, also that can make water happen on your property for growing of plants. Your plants grow faster when you bring upon the Hopi rains. So that's one of the plant growing technologies. The next technology is for moving grief. We don't just want to bring about something that needs to come up. We need to move it with Hopi energy. So this one is, and I'm going to type it out for you. Yeah. Okay. Make sure we're not getting any weird autocorrects. Yo tani. Got that? Yo tani. So I may say it like that, but in Hopi we hold on, I didn't press enter.
You didn't send it, yeah.
It says I already sent it, but it's not sending it. Okay, I don't know. My thing has been weird lately. Okay, I'm just gonna type pest. It's not letting me type anything.
Do you want to spell it for me and I type it?
Yeah, it's Y-O-Y.
Y-O-Y.
Yeah, Crowdcast has been weird today. And this is all together. Y-O-Y-O-Y-O-T-A-N-I. So this is a really fun.
This is all together? It's all one word?
All together. But you're going to draw out the vowels when you say it or sing it, but it's all together. So
Y-O-Y.
H-O-Y-O-Y-O-T-A-N-I. Yo tani.
That.
I don't know. I can't see it because chat's not moving for me.
Oh, okay.
Like at all. I see like no chat. This is really bothering me.
That's weird.
I'm going to refresh. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay. Can you guys see me? Still
yes.
not loading chat. Yeah, it does not load chat for me. We're gonna have to put in a request to them later. No, there it is.
They're all saying yes.
Oh, it says, oops, you already sent that message. When you try to type something, it doesn't send it. And then if you try to type it again, it'll say you've already sent it.
That's weird.
Never happened before.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's always something weird with Crowdcast lately. So Yohoyo Tani means rain will be moving along. So it's about moving grief when you really want to get through it. Okay. So it's a powerful technology. You're going to visualize standing at the top of a mesa, a flat mountaintop. You're going to visualize localized areas of cloud build up. You know how like if you're at a mesa, you can see where rain is in a cloud and you can see when it comes down and you can see when it's moving. So this is how this is going to go. Why does it say tap to unmute sound? I'm not muted. So you're going to visualize where the clouds are, that localized area of cloud buildup, and this is your grief. You're going to feel into it, not just visualize it, but feel what your grief feels like and that it is represented by that cloud, wherever you see it atop your mesa there. And you're going to feel and visualize the moment where you can feel rain descending from that localized cloud. And I want you to make this really real. I want you to smell the rain. You know how rain has a smell? Your grief has a smell too, just like rain. So it can come in that way. Smell the rain in the winds, maybe watch the downfall of the rain. Feel it on your face and just watch it. And then I want you to blow the cloud through. So when we do that a lot as shamans, Native American shamans, you'll hear us do one of two things. And this part is up to you. We'll go, or in my case, I don't often do that. Mine is more like a, yeah, because I'm a lot more realistic. But you'll hear shamans when they're really moving their rattles and getting in with the casinas and the sacred songs, you'll hear them just suddenly go, and it's like I just spat something away. For those of you who have ever sat with a shaman, we're a little unusual.
I almost said, bless you.
You think they sneezed or something, but it's a technique.
Yes. Okay.
So again, you can do that in one of two ways. So you're going to push that cloud of grief along powerfully. All right. Once you smell the rain and feel it on your face, you're going to get an intense downpour of rain. You're going to feel it coming. You're probably going to cry, and you're going to cry a lot. And when you're ready to push the grief along, then you're going to make one of those two noises. Okay. So that is your grief. And you're going to watch as this column of clouds kind of goes across the sky there from your mesa, the top of your mesa. Okay. So you can use a rattle, you can use a drum. I'm not really a rattle person. So I don't know. I like
drums.
Yeah. So it sounds like this. Yo, 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 tani. Got it? Yo, 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 tani. Not really wanting to push anything away today. You guys do all that. Okay, next one is prayer of gratitude. So if you're really feeling like you're not having a lot of abundance in your life, you need to work with gratitude, and you can do this particular katsina after any technology that you use to show gratitude for it actually happening. Even if it hasn't yet, you still want to show gratitude towards your ancestors. So after any sacred song, or because you're just feeling a little bitter and you're not seeing abundance in your life and you're really wanting to feel more gratitude, not just so you can get abundance, but just because you need more gratitude. This is an easier one in a certain way. Get ready to type. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here to do this. I don't know what the deal is with Crowdcast today.
I don't know. It's weird.
I know. Yeah, I don't know that it actually put it. It might be my keyboard. I wonder if my keyboard's what's being weird. So it's called Prayer of Gratitude, and it means happy heart. So it's like activating. One part of it means activating the happiness, and the other part means activating your heart. So happy heart is kind of the best translation I can give you this, and the other one's an activation. This is the third word. So hale. Okay, H-A-A-L-A-Y apostrophe.
Okay, H-A-A.
H-A-A-L-A-Y. So the A is drawn out, but it has a little, not a fada, but like the other one, the opposite way around. It has a thing over it that's left. So H-A with that dash, A-L-A-Y. And then apostrophe, when you get an apostrophe in some, are you lost? I need to type. Okay. I'm just going to do this and let you type it out.
Okay. Do you want to type it on WhatsApp for me?
I can just do this, and then you can type it out. G-A-L-A-Y. U-N-A-N-G-W-A, and then repeat that word, and then U-N-A-N-G-W-V-A-A-S-I. There you go.
Oh, okay.
So that is Ha'ale Yungangwa. So notice how with the Y and at the end of that, when you have kind of a apostrophe like that, that means that you blend these vowels together. Haleungangwa. Haleungnangwa. There you go. Haleungnangwa. Haleung. Haleung.
I'm just typing down this one.
Okay. Got that?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Haleung. Haleungangwa. And then same thing.
Okay.
Haleunangvasi. So similar to Sanskrit in terms of like the A's are normally pronounced longer. And you will need to draw that out, putting a lot more feeling in that than what I just described. Anytime you can draw out a vowel in Hopi is pretty powerful if your emotions are working well for it.
I'm just proofreading. That's,
I can't see anyone's chat. Like the whole chat just completely just screwed up. We're gonna have to put in a help ticket after this. This was messed up and weird. Like the chat doesn't.
I think
for me.
I think somehow it's your computer, but we will put it on the thing. Okay.
Yeah. Let's. Oh no, I see somebody else typing as me, so I can see chat.
Me.
Okay, so that's it. All right. So with a happy heart, this makes kind of bitterness go away and all sorts of things when you're just not having a lot of good stuff happen in your life and you want gratitude, but you don't really have anything to show for it. This is your song. All right.
I ate a G. I love the beats at the end every time.
Yeah, and at the end of those casinos, what we do is do that, and people with rattles shake their rattles, and it feels like that,
It feels like a celebration.
Every song is a celebration because the Hopi believe that it will happen. So the final technology that I'm going to be sharing today before I go into answering your questions is not an easy one. It is an abundance technology, but Hopi people were very hard workers, and they believed, like, if you're a Christian, your verse for this would be faith without works is dead. They believed in action and living a right life. I know New Agers going to get mad at me. They believed in ethics. When I say the word ethics to some of you, you just go, oh, don't tell me what to do. Hopi weren't like that. They were like, please tell us how to live a right life. Tell us how to be compassionate. Tell us how to live right for our hearts and right by other people's hearts. And this was the difference between their culture and ours. And this is what I'm trying to bring back to you every time I channel, not just Hopi, but every time I channel. This is what I'm trying to bring back to you. This is why some of you are like, oh, I know it's right, but I don't like it. So I'm going to type the next one out for you. It's not easy because if you have triggers about religion and people telling you what's good and stuff like that when you're a little girl, you have issues with this. And you need to come down off your ego and do it anyway. You will be happy you did. Okay, so I'm going to give you the next one, and then I'm going to tell you what it's about because it has an interesting translation. So again, with the blending of the vowels and the consonants, which is kind of like the hardest thing, I think Sanskrit, people who sing Sanskrit will understand this a little bit, how this is done. Okay. And I actually can put down a little bit of what this means in English underneath it because it's a real easy. It's just two phrases again. It means life heart, or life plus heart. And then the second phrase means your life heart that encapsulates everything that a perfectly lived life should be. I will bring that forth to you in a minute. So here you go.
Is it Nangwa or Nongwa?
It's Katsi, and then you blend it together. Katsi Nangwa. Katsi Nangwa. So notice it sounds like there isn't an apostrophe there. Katsi Nangwa. Katsi Vongya. Katsi Vongya. Okay. Katsi Nangwa. Katsi Vonga. Yeah. Katsi Nangwa. Katsi Vongya. So that G's weird. Katsi Vongya. So in a way, you can pretend that apostrophe isn't there. It just teaches you how to blend that together. Okay? Katsi Nangwa. Katsi Vongya. So when you do this, you visualize the work that you will do or the action you will take to achieve your abundance goal. So this isn't, the secret 101 where I'm going to tell you to pull out your whiteboard and put a Lamborghini there and visualize it and now call in the Hopi. And I'm going to tell you in your mind, there's a visual of the way that you feel. What does that look like in your life? Okay, don't get shallow on me. This isn't that I have a nice house or I have money or I have the perfect partner. How do you feel if you have that? But what work did you do in your heart to get there? What work are you going to offer your ancestors to get there? Notice it's something that's common in every indigenous teaching is that there is a give and a take. So your ancestors are going to work with you, and what are you going to do? What are you going to do to get that as well? And what emotion is there? So you're going to visualize the work you will do or your offering. In indigenous cultures, what is your offering? Now, a lot of times you hear laying tobacco, things like that. The Hopi, they do lay tobacco, but primarily speaking, they're very specific in terms of, I want corn. I'm going to visualize myself toiling away for this corn and singing the rang songs every day and dancing around in gratitude. Now, that is a standard Hopi action. There's another word in Hopi for action, like sacred action. So what is your sacred action that's going to visualize the work that you're going to do for yourself and your ancestors to get this feeling and abundance and good life, right? So do that and visualize the sacred work that you will do to achieve this, whatever it is. And what this is a life that is a visible display of heartfelt thoughts, gratitude, and everyday action that is beautiful and will manifest because it is a life lived rightly. That's what all this means in theory with this metaphor. All right?
I love it.
Sing it. No, I want you guys to get your visuals and your feelings and get this ready. And just sing along with me whenever you're ready. I hope you guys enjoyed that portion of the channeling. Those technologies were my favorite part, but as you can see, I can't be in trance to show you that shit. So.
Yeah. I love it.
Good.
Shall I just? I'll just ask you a few questions of the grid that you made beforehand. Do you draw the triangles in the sand?
What? You can draw a triangle in the sand. You don't have to have crystals to make this happen. A lot of times, indigenous people would use whatever they had, sticks, stones. I like quartz. I find that quartz and then the copper on top is an ancient technology. And quartz were,
You kind of mold the sand in a triangle with the quartz around it.
And I put the sand in there and I put the quartz around it. And that's just one of the technologies working with earth and sand and quartz and copper at the top.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can it be any sand?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. And what do you mean by pointers?
Better, but you have what you have. Your intent is known.
Yes. Okay. And what do you mean by pointers?
I don't really have one to show you, but you can Google quartz pointers. They are anywhere from small to medium size. They're normally about that size in width and about that size or this size. Doesn't matter what it is.
It means it's not round. It has a point.
They just point. They just point upwards or downwards, depending on how you use it.
Like an obelisk or.
Yeah, they have a point.
The shape.
Point. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That was all the questions.
That's all the questions about the technologies?
Okay. About I didn't see the Q&A section. Do you want to go over there before you go into trance? Or during the trance?
Well, it depends upon what the questions are. If you have questions from the Hopi, I can go into trance for that. Okay. Yeah, these aren't technology questions, I don't think. Is there a what? A connet? You're really going to have to like put that question back in because I don't know what that means. Benedict. I deleted the question in hopes that you tell me what that word means because they're not really giving me any hits on it. Oh yeah, these are good questions for me to go into trance with. Oh my God, Blue Star Kachina. I'm going to be here all day. Okay.
Oh, Jimena just said she has a technology question.
Mm-hmm.
Related to how to integrate this with blessings.
They are blessings. I mean, that I don't even know what type of blessing she means. So it's they are their own blessings. They don't integrate well with other technologies and other things that you do. So what you do is you just do that and you follow your heart. But when you try to integrate them with, say, other types of blessings, I don't really know what you mean. They're just so powerful on their own. You don't need to integrate them with anything. It kind of confuses energies. Yeah. All right.
Is there an amount of time that you want to go with, or I just keep checking on you?
I'd say about 40 minutes is what I have to do.
Okay.
Or have to go for a school meeting. The year grades meeting. Oh my God.
Okay.
Didn't do his work, so this is going to be a fun meeting. All right, I'm out. Wake me up in a little while. Soyanga hanga shira pona. May you rest well. May the rivers flow gently within your hearts. We greet you, white man and all man. We greet you as equal humans in grandfather and grandmother's skies and earths.
Hello, thank you for joining us. Is there any message you'd like to share before we continue with the questions?
We are a simple people of few words, of great song, of longing, of passion, of joy, and of diligent work, of blessings and actions, and love within grace. May you follow such simple blessings in your own lives. And may you share your blessings fervently and gladly with all who grace your path. May you walk with the thunder and cry with the rains. May you breathe with the Great Spirit and sing as Kasina.
Thank you very much. The first question we have is from Benedict. What is your take on the prophecy regarding the rainbow warriors?
Yes, this prophecy is passed down throughout our elders and our young ones, throughout our medicine men. And we recognize the rainbow warriors are the beginning and end of times. They are here, paving the way for the memory of all of the ancestors throughout all indigenous peoples connected on all lands. They connect these lands through various methods, through various songs, through various memories and stories. And of course, there is nothing to fight. There is great peace. You are there. You may call yourself by various means and different names. You have called yourself children of the indigo wave. You have called yourself volunteers upon grandmother's lands. You have called yourself wanderers into these bodies. You feel as if you do not belong, and in ways that is true and untrue. It is important that you remember the simple times of your ancestors and don't make life here more complicated than it should be. Breathe. Sing with us, your ancestors. Remember the stories of the medicine men that walked your lands and carried them through with great sacred respect. Let your actions bring forth your words, rainbow children. Be mature in the sharing of your song. Be satisfied, be content, be at peace, and be well. You remember the prophecies of the Great White Brotherhood, that an elder would come of very white skin, almost translucent. This elder has come, and many times. Thousands of years ago, there were attempts for this elder to arrive upon your planet. Millions of years ago, the being showed at the blue star and came down into form temporarily for messages. And you saw this being riding upon a levitating disc, and you were frightened. You friended these beings, and then they would return to their place in the blue star. leaving these stories to share, to pass down to your children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren forever and ever. So it isn't just one being. But you remember this prophecy is nigh, and the time is now. Not yesterday, there were many attempts, not tomorrow, but the time is now. Many beings are now retreating into great lands to remember their ancestry. White men are finding the Hopi, finding the Lakota, finding the Apache, finding the Sioux, finding the Cherokee, finding the Catawba, finding the Paiute. Many white men are finding your elders and being adopted into these tribes. And it is good. We don't need separation or distinction. We simply need to remember our song together as one humankind. And that is happening now. You have no choice. There's nothing to fear. What is occurring is upon you. There's nothing to wait for. That is all regarding this prophecy at this time.
Thank you very much. Next question is, how do we identify our spiritual animal, and how can they help us at this time in our spiritual journey?
Hold a sacred stone that is sacred to you in a hand for journeying, and the stone will retreat from your grasp. You will feel it blending into your very skin. Hold it loosely, not tightly. For this too is how you shall hold life. Not too loose, not too tight. Just gently, so as to observe it, so as to breathe within it, so as to blend and to become it. And then command the light within the stone to show you everything that is necessary, and to call upon which sacred animal wishes to guide you. The stone will go find it, and it will land in visions in your eye. Listen and ask what message it has to share and how it would wish to guide you. And of course, this is the important part. Live its messages. So many white men who come upon our journey ask to journey, ask for a vision quest, ask for a sacred measure. And it is of great delight that we share. But do not journey for greed. Do not journey to attain. There is no goal. What if you simply journey for the sake of meeting whatever animal wishes to guide? Again, not to get something, not to receive, but to merge, to share, to listen, and to offer your thanks and to offer any offering, any blessing to this animal, which you must do. But first, journey with the sacred stone. Breathe into it. Command the light within the stone to journey for you, to go find your spirit animal. And then wait and observe. Watch the vision, for it will arise. And when you awaken, the stone will return, either in your hand or in some place in the home or the teepee. We need not mention the last time This channel journeyed with a stone, and then the stone disappeared for 16 days. Worry not if this were to occur. Worry not if the stone lands in someone else's sphere. That means it wishes to journey with that person. Pay heed to the magic of these ancient technologies that we share with you today. After you vision and quest with your animal, when you awaken, send an offering, perhaps some tobacco upon the lands buried deeply into the earth. Perhaps offer your sacred stone to the rivers. If your animal is a fish, give an offering, be thankful, and then journey again. You will work with a certain sacred animal for a certain sacred time, and then that work shall cease. Be grateful and move along now, for the next one wishes to honor you. And that is all. It is that simple and always has been. Do not allow your minds to complicate the simplicity of your elders.
Thank you very much. Next question. If there is a tribe or indigenous culture that we are in contact with, should we learn and honor their teachings, and what can we do to support them?
You can do so by bringing offerings, understanding the culture, and as often, do not share the sacred songs except when your ancestors bid you the grace to do so. If a sacred song has been given to you, understand that it is for you. For those of you receiving the sacred songs today, it is for all of you. And you can use it at will. And when Great Spirit, Great Grandmother in the sky, and Grandfather of the winds, Grandmother Earth, bids you share it, do so with sacred respect and a great discernment.
Thank you. Next question. I'm wondering if a song or prayer could be shared that helps transcend the pain and suffering still felt today by those living on the reservation.
Remember the sacred song of the happy heart that we shared today. And remember the technologies of grief for moving the grief along strongly. It wasn't a sad song. You will not see the Hopi with a broken heart trying to process grief. You will see a passionate Hopi elder come before you and join along with you with great respect and gratitude and desire, without too much I, without too much aplomb, and certainly not with broken heart, but with power. We offer the technologies that we did today for the answering of your very question.
Thank you. Could you speak of the Blue Star Kachina prophecy?
That time is upon you now. There is nothing to seek. You will feel so, much more so. Within the span of every 20 years, the prophecy will be revealed further, and you are at a peak of the 20. Are you not? And then 20 from now, a comet will pass in the sky that will cause great destruction, but not full destruction. Just enough destruction for one side, one corner of the planet to need to start fresh. And new tribes will be born, new crop, new lands, a return to the natural. And then 20 years after that, it will occur again. For Grandmother Earth does a great purification of her lands from the skies, from the space, every 20 years. This time, it was of a man-made device that you called a sickness that only affected those who wished to leave. But every 20 years, Grandmother Earth or Grandmother Sky will cause a return to balance, which is a purification of the lands and the waters and the air and the space. And you will see the ancestors in the sky. So as not to perpetuate fear, but to help you understand that the purification is natural, we will stop this query at this point about this particular line of question.
Okay. Thank you very much for answering. Next question is from Yana. She says, my people, the Tsoyaha or Yuchi people, are known as the children of the sun, and Hopi, among other tribal nations, also have star beings in their creation stories. Can you tell us more about these cosmic connections?
The people of the sun always create great distinction and connection and trust with the people of the rains. And there are many beings that you connect to call upon the powers of the cosmos. And we have created points of connection upon our planet. You hold a point that guides through the sun and the growth of all beings. We hold a point of the guidance from Grandfather in the skies. Many tribes connect to these vital points of elemental existence for simple but powerful technologies to always be held safely by our ancestors and our children to come.
Thank you. Is there a technology for summer solstice?
There are many technologies for summer solstice that many will find relevant at this time, related to harvest and related to singing songs of gratitude while eating, while planting again, while reaping the harvest. You sing songs of gratitude. And then when eating the foods and while preparing the foods from the harvest, you sing the same songs of gratitude. And in the particular solstice, regarding the rare nature of cosmological occurrences within the moon, you can then burn a fire and dance with the same gratitude songs around such fire and be in plenty. Recognize and be in thanks of your abundance.
Thank you. The Hopi are known as being especially peaceful. What can we learn from you about peace?
Learn that and remember that peace is nothing to obtain, and peace is something that you already are by your very nature. Learn that in such a planet of polarity, there will be chaos and destruction, birth and recreation. and there can be peace in it all. Learn the natural cycles of what you're calling war and chaos and destruction, and birth and harvest and plenitude. Learn that there is peace in these cycles and grandmother's creations of cycles. And remember, you will always return to the dust from which you came. And everything that you create, there is nothing to take with you save the heart.
Thank you. How do the Hopi believe ancestors can help the living?
Would you kindly repeat your words?
Yes. How do the Hopi believe that ancestors can help the living people?
The living people have fallen prey to their own destruction and their mental attitudes. You are creating much complication, profound perplexity out of what was meant to be a simple life. You take much more than you give. You leave more than you should upon Grandmother Earth's soils and waters. And you do not know how to live or breathe cleanly. When we state breathe cleanly, we mean the love or the toxins that leave from your very words. Discipline your mouths and honor love that is in your mind. And when love is not within your mind, forgive what is not. And then start over. It is a simple practice to clear the mind so that all is seen in innocence, so that peace is ever present. Hopi do not speak often, not through a channel within a form, not simply through one people or another people's. We simply prefer no words. Perhaps you could stand to learn from that. Do not speak unless it is with helpfulness, kindness, compassion, and thankfulness. Utter nothing but the truth and recognize when another's truth does not belong to you. It does not make that utterance from another truthful or untruthful. Manage your reactions, manage your hurt, manage your anger so that you do not become poisonous to the planet with your words. The greatest toxins on this planet aren't simply created by irresponsible humans who do not honor Grandmother Earth, but also irresponsible humans who speak toxins in their words to hurt themselves or others.
Thank you. What is the benefit of sleeping on the ground? I recently felt drawn to buy a sleeping bag. What can I do to honor the ground and connect with it while sleeping on the ground?
It's not a matter of thought. It simply will occur the moment your feet touch it, the moment you bless the grounds and thank Grandmother Earth, and place your bare hands and bare feet upon her and say, thank you. As the Lakota people often say, Tonka Shila. Understand the connection for the Wakantanka is gratitude always. There is not a technique. We will not pull down a great wand from the sky or a great staff from standing bare to hand to you. Your body is the rod. Take a stand upon the land Take a sit for some time and breathe with the wind. Stay there a while. That is all. Grounding is not profound technology. There's nothing to do. Just be.
Thank you. Can you speak to us about what we forgot during the Great Forgetting and what we need to remember from ancient times?
It saddens us, your elders, that you have forgotten how to connect with others upon your lands. That your own technologies have grown so great enough to distract you and to keep you permanently embedded as slaves to your thought. It saddens us to know that you have forgotten all of the technologies that we remember today and bring to you today. But it's a simple nature to remember. It's so simple to understand, to give thanks to Grandmother Earth and Grandfather Sky. It is so simple to remember, to honor your voice and another's. It is so simple to remember a simple culture where you were fed by the earth, not by a corporate environment. You were fed by the toil of your own hands and that of your neighbors. You were fed by the local elders who farmed the lands in the local markets. Your trade was local. There was no currency involved. Not that this shall be outlawed now, or you can only be where you are. But you have placed your entire power to be happy upon the false notion that a currency is your security. That culture began thousands of years ago, and it may take, indeed, at least 100 more years to return. It's a culture that's been sucking you dry, sucking away your life force, your health, your emotional well-being. You've never been more depressed. You've never felt more alone. And you are finally remembering that you don't like feeling that way. We are pleased to say that this is indeed a grand start. And although it wasn't a gentle remembering, you now have given yourselves no choice but to return to these simple technologies, not just for your survival, but for your mental and physical well-being.
Thank you.
You have forgotten that there was only one killer on Earth, one controller. That is your culture. Other beings will come along to help you remember more. No worries today.
Thank you. Next question. I had read it is best to plant during a new moon and harvest during the full moon. Is this a technology? If so, please tell us more about this.
This is not so much of a technology as simply a known rule that's been passed on through generations for elders and young ones alike. There's nothing to say that is more. And it occurs when your poles shift as well that perhaps you should consider the opposite.
Would you recommend the sacred structure for vision quests and prayers on my property? From Mary Ellen.
We already have. Go forth with trust.
Is there a technology we can do to heal ancestral karma?
Invite all of the ancestors who have relevant wounding. Invite them around your sacred fire. Do create a fire. It doesn't matter if the fire reaches all the way to the heavens or if it is simple. But sit around it and invite your ancestors around it. Invite them to sing with the sacred grief healing technologies.
What are some ways that we can give back to the earth?
For example, anytime you call upon a great spirit totem of perhaps one of Earth's animals to guide you, you must offer thanks. For instance, the fish like water. The birds of the sky like certain food offerings, and perhaps you could build a nest. Perhaps with the sea turtle, it will wish for you to put forth some sort of offering upon the sands of the oceans. And of course, it shall be an offering that does not pollute such oceans. Perhaps a simple offering to the sea turtle, an hour of picking up plastic. There are many ways that you can offer simply by cleaning up the planet, cleaning up the environment that man has desecrated where the animal may live.
Thank you. You mentioned a pole shift. Can you tell us more about that?
It is already occurring. Please understand that the nature of your planet, she cleanses herself naturally. This is not a punishment. It's a natural occurrence when a simple overpopulation occurs. It's not sustainable that more than 9 billion people shall live here. And at some point, Grandmother Earth and Grandmother Skies, Grandfather Skies and Grandmother Earth will replenish and recycle and cleanse themselves. This may cause a not so gentle shifting of the poles as introduced by a global warming, as you call it, faculty. And it is already beginning to create grand disturbances along your coastlines and certain volcanic activity and certain earthquake activity as the plates of Grandmother Earth shake and quake. There are certain environments that cannot sustain the heat that are upon them in this shift of 2020 alone. And people are moving and leaving. The activity and flares of the sun are stronger than ever before, and the cosmic activity of the comets are stronger than ever before. We would be surprised to hear that you are surprised of this.
Thank you very much. Does anyone else have more questions? We are done with the ones previously asked. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us today?
Be well, be healthy, be active, be giving. We shall speak again soon.
Thank you very much for blessing us with your words. You can bring the channel back. Hi.
Body. Every time.
Good morning.
Like, oh no, pain is there again.
Ah. They are so nice. So sweet.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps we can do it again. There's always different technologies that they're willing to share. So
Yeah.
excited about it. Lightworkers, what do you guys have coming up on your channel for this week or next?
We have our bonfire this Sunday, and on Tuesday we have Lilith coming up, and it's going to be on Zoom. So, and you'll be in trance, and people are gonna come on screen and talk directly to Lilith. So it shall be interesting.
I hope she doesn't eat you.
Right?
Don't eat them, Lilith.
Yeah, she always does. They love it.
I remember when we did a workshop in London and people were scared because she did such a class. She did such an introduction before she let people talk to her that by the time she let people talk to her, by the time I went into trance and we had a little seat there, we called it the hot seat. I called it Jaws. It came into the mouth of the Jaws.
Yeah, she's sharp.
Yeah. But she wasn't quite as cutting as I thought she was going to be. She was actually pretty kind to my London crowd. I think Halal was worse.
Yeah, she's very straight to the point, and people like that.
Yeah. All right.
Sometimes it's hard.
Coming up next week on Sunday. What do you have after that?
After the channeling with Lilith, the next Tuesday we have a ceremony.
Okay. What kind of ceremony?
It will be balancing the element of ether.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
With everything that the Hopi have been telling me is going on, that might be a good thing to attend. Yeah.
Should be fun.
I'll be right there with you with my Lightworker goodies.
Oh, yes. There are more coming our way.
Yeah.
More goodies.
And what do I have? I think you guys know that we're going to be channeling the Council of Nine. This time probably with Katara and Ra coming through as they will. And they'll, you know how they are. You know, Katara doesn't have to identify because you recognize her giggle, but Ra always identifies. So you'll notice the difference. I think on May 26th, we have that coming up, but that's not on Patreon. That's on my website. It's on special for $11 right now after 200 people, because we like to keep things where they're not, you know, a ton of people. After then, we'll have to go up to our regular price. So it's not going to be on Patreon. There will be a recording as afterwards for 30 days, as there always is for every Zoom recording for me. So again, that's not a Patreon thing, but it is coming up. And I just want to mention it because we're on that early bird special right now of 11.11, which makes it affordable for us.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. Galactic history is one of my strong points. And, you know, I remember going through realization that I had no interest. And now that I'm finally settling into my body, I have a lot of interest in it again. So I can't wait to
Yeah.
what they have to say about that. So you guys make sure you catch your seat for that. And I think we have the Halal class next week, don't we? Is it
on Monday? Yes.
Monday? Okay. Yeah, we don't have a channeling Eric next week because I think it's Memorial Day.
Yes.
But I will have the Great Remembering class. So I know one of you asked. I think I'm remembering now that one of you asked what we forgot. So more of what we forgot coming up, but actually, how do we remember it? That's important too, not just what we forgot, but what are we doing in our daily lives to distract us from that great remembering? And believe me, there is a lot. You won't believe our culture has become so insane, modern culture, that it's easy to forget how to stay connected and how to live a simple life. I hope the Hopi helped you guys with some of that today.
Yeah, exactly with that, with the simplicity.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to go take care of my kids. I think I have a meeting
Okay.
with a teacher, so I'll see.
Yes. Thank you very much. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you, Flavia.